Oh, hey there. Welcome to Creative Crusade, my ongoing art journey. If you'd like to learn alongside with me and stay up to date with me, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you can do so. So today's lesson is going to be the organic perspective lesson. And this one's actually pretty cool because it can be, once you kind of get into the flow of it, it can be quite relaxing. It's a pretty interesting exercise, but yeah, so let's actually do the exercise now.
All right. Attempt number 2 since my phone cracked down on me earlier. That's always fun. So, this is the organic perspective exercise. This one's going to be quite fun to do, kind of relaxing if you get into it. So, just like all your other ones, all the other perspective exercises, you're going to have 3 panels on a page. And so, let's go ahead and construct those panels right now. And as usual, they don't have to be perfectly even, but it's probably best to have them decently even in dividing them, that is, into 3 sections. All right. Then once you got your 3 panels, in each panel you're going to draw your essentially guideline, which you should know what that is if you've read the lesson, which you have, right? I know you have. So you're just going to draw some kind of line that goes around the page somewhere. You can even have a fun little loop-de-loop. Try to avoid going off the page like this, like the line itself can go off the page. Well, it can, as in, you can cut it off at this point and then continue it on, like, let me show you, you can do this. And then just kind of pretend that it went off the page. But it didn't really, in reality. It did, as in, the camera cut it off. You can't see it because the camera can't see it, if that makes sense, hopefully. All right, now that you got your lines in there, now you can start adding boxes along your line. And you're trying to keep, this is like the far away point, and this is the close-up point. So boxes back here are further away, and as they get closer, they're larger. So like if we start off drawing a smaller box, and then up here, we'll draw a really big box. It's even so big it's off screen. You can even plot out your points like this, and then you can ghost between them, which can make it a lot easier. Which once you get to the 250 box challenge, which is a really good exercise, you'll do that a lot and you'll understand why you do that. And you may notice this is significantly easier for me than it may be for you, especially if you're a beginner, because I've gone through 250 box challenge, which essentially is doing this, but on a much larger scale. So it's going to be much easier for me because I've done this before, essentially. Which, if you put the practice into it, you'll be just as good, if not better than me. Which I'm not that good, so it's not that hard to do. So then, yeah, you'll just continue to add them along this line, like so. Like I said before, you can add these lines to make it a little bit tidier, which I recommend doing, because it just makes it a little bit easier to comprehend what's going on. It also helps you judge the size by what you're making them. And you should be trying to keep it drawn with your shoulder. I am drawing with my shoulder, but I'm not doing it at that right angle, which is the bottom left to right, I'll try to do that more. If you remember from the lessons and from what I've talked about earlier. But essentially, this is very similar to the rough perspective of what we did earlier, in that you're estimating towards a vanishing point. Really, the only difference here is that you're making up 3 vanishing points in your brain. Because if you follow these lines where they intersect, that's where they're going towards, or where that vanishing point is. And that's what you're doing here when you're making up all these points and stuff. You're essentially making up vanishing points, like I already said that, so yeah. But you can kind of see how I have them getting closer as they come in, and you don't really want them to overlap a ton. It's okay if they do a little bit, like make them overlap a little here. Like that's okay. But if you want to put like another one right there, I'd probably not do that, just because it makes it really hard to see what's going on, like we've talked about before. Like in this one, if you do it too much, too many lines, really hard to see what's going on. And so you'll just continue to fill in these little boxes everywhere in your organicness. And you'll notice that I won't really always go to those points that I've made, just because I'm correcting as I go, if that makes sense. And all your boxes don't have to have this kind of triangle look. Like, I'll show you what I mean in a second, but like this is a good example, I guess, where a lot of them have that very triangle, kind of the way these extend out, kind of in a triangle. You can make it flat if you want to. It's just kind of experiment like this. So your lines are going more vertical, or they're more, not vertical, they're more parallel. And that just kind of pushes it more towards 2-point perspective, even though there still is 3. Like, you can kind of see that. So you can kind of experiment with that if you wish it. But essentially, you're just going to continue to fill this page and fill 2 full pages, all 3 panels on each page. Just like this, like what we're doing here. With your rough perspective, do the best you can. By no means does anyone expect you to be a master at this on your first try, especially. But you're essentially going to do this, fill it up. Nice line. Like, we can fit one more here. But yes, that's essentially, you just fill it up. This is almost done. I just add a few more right in there. You go along the line, fill up all your pages, and that's essentially the whole exercise. So yeah, I hope this was helpful to you. Hopefully it helps you do the exercise to see how somebody does it. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.